morning, everybody. It's Thursday, the 13th of August. We've got a few things today. So the Nasdaq is going to open inside yesterday's range, pretty much right in the middle of the range. We're set to open right at the 50% between yesterday's high and yesterday's low. So a breakout on either boundary will be pretty interesting. SPY is a little bit more bullish. It's set to open near the high of yesterday's range. Yesterday, it's interesting because we gapped up in the morning, and as soon as the market opened, it just fell down basically, and it consolidated near the lows. And today, we're about to open at the exact same spot. So that will be interesting to see what's going to happen there. But overall, I think today is more bullish than bearish. In terms of stocks, I will be looking at SpaceX on the top left. We traded SpaceX yesterday and we had some pretty good trades. Today we're about to open inside the range, which makes yesterday's high and low tradable levels. And also we do have a major support at 139.98. And this comes from the daily level, the daily chart. I'll also be trading CRWV, just like yesterday. We had a few trades yesterday on CRWV, one right at the open. We did pretty good with that one. Then I missed a short right around here. And then I think I did take another short attempt near this area. Or was this was after the stream ended? Yeah, I continued traded it a little bit, but the only trade we took on the stream was this long here, right off the open. So the reason I'm watching it today is for a day two type of trade. I'm mostly interested in a run under yesterday's low, which is at 105.44. So a break below yesterday's low and then a reclaim of that level for a potential failed breakdown. And a long setup there in CRWV. I will also be trading IREN, IREN on the bottom left. IREN has some news today and it is gapping up quite a bit in the pre-market. What's that? That's around, about 5%, a 5% gap up. I don't quite remember the news. I think it's had something to do with Netflix not Netflix, Nvidia. Not 100% sure, but it doesn't matter. The volume is there, the movement is there. So it's an interesting one to watch. I have marked here previous day high, previous day low, and the pre-market high. And the red line you'll see on my charts, this is the previous day close, another level that I'm watching. And then finally, I will also be trading SMCI. SMCI, just like CRWV, is a day two type of setup, or rather it might become a type two type of setup. So we've got the previous day high and the previous day low, and a failure of either of those levels can give us a pretty good trade in the other direction. So if we run above yesterday's high, which we're doing right now just before the market opens, or actually just opened right now, and we'll see if it can fail and come back inside the range. So let's go ahead and do that. And good luck. Let's see what we get today. CRWV, big move up right off the open. Iron coming close to the pre-market high. Let's see if we break above that high and we break out basically, or we fail there. Also on CMCI, so far we're failing to make a good high up here. Might give us a potential short. Not shorting anything yet. I'm waiting for CRWV to potentially break above previous day high and give us a failure setup. Same for iron. It's kind of what I'm waiting for. SMCI, pretty strong. We broke above previous day high and we keep going. I'm not in it. CRWV approaching previous day high. I'm mostly interested for a short around that level. If it breaks above it and it fails to continue higher. It has to be a clean setup for that to work. There's a new high on iron. Pre-market just broke above pre-market high. SpaceX pretty weak. So I'm shorting a little bit of iron here because we did break above pre-market high and looks like we're failing now to hold above it. CRWV also break above pre-market high. Just got stopped out on iron. The short was not successful, so just stopped out of that one. Might re-enter if it gives me another setup. entering CRWV short here. But I'm exiting now because it's not working. Pretty strong, so I want to hold off shorting anything at this point. We'll have to wait and see if something forms. Really big move on the SPY and the Nasdaq here. SpaceX might get interesting here for a potential short. Off of the VWAP. I'm looking at SpaceX for potential short here. I took a little short on SpaceX off of that VWAP rejection. It is lagging behind other stocks that are moving higher, so there is some relative weakness on SpaceX. This is why I'm interested in this name for a short. I am short from 144.6 on SpaceX with a stop above the day's high. I don't want to short too many things because the market is ripping, so keeping my shorts tight. I prefer the long side, but I don't have any long setups yet. I am covering a little bit of SpaceX here. At a loss because it is breaking higher. Yeah, I'm out of SpaceX short. Things are too strong right now. I'm not gonna be shorting anything else. Just waiting for some long setups to form. SMCI potentially. Back short on SpaceX after that rejection, the second rejection on VWAP. I'm short now, SpaceX 144.48. Gotta be careful with this one because it is weak, but it's not like super weak either. And the market is strong, so I'll be quick to cover, at least take some partials out of it if it gives me a good price. I have a limit order out at 143.70 to cover 1/3 of SpaceX. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn on the flip zones here. Let me do that. Should be up now. QQQ back on a previous day high. Might give us a bounce here on previous day high on the Nasdaq. My first cover on SpaceX will be, here it is, I just got it. Covering a little bit more. I exited 2/3 of my position on SpaceX at 143.70. And I'm gonna cover another piece if it breaks the low of day. The Nasdaq held yesterday's high. The SpaceX also held on the flip zones here, basically the low of the day. CRWV, I'm shorting. Um, I'm considering shorting it around here, CRWV, but it has a really high interest, high short interest. So it is in a squeeze right now. So gotta be really careful with CRWV. In fact, I think I'll just leave it alone. I don't think I'll short it. I think I will short iron here with a target at the pre-market high at 46.79. The rest of my stop on SpaceX is above the high of day at 144.05. If CMCI here can make a new high, which it just did, and it fails that high, so if we pull down quickly, this might be a good failed breakout type of setup. So far it's not failing, but if it does fail, I think it's going to be a pretty good one to trade. My stop on the short on SMCI is 48.15 on the last, on my position on that one. Got stopped out on iron short. I added a little bit to my short on SpaceX here. And my target on SpaceX is a new low of day at 143.07. Yeah, I'm not shorting SMCI here. It's pretty strong. I'm also looking at AMD for a potential long. I'm gonna replace SPY here from the bottom right with AMD because I am looking at it for a potential trade. So just got filled my next exit on SpaceX on the low of day. I'm gonna cover a little bit more on SpaceX here, 142.85 to lock in some more profits on SpaceX. It's been a really good trade. I was looking for a long on AMD off of the VWAP at 149, but it looks like it moved without me. Now my interest is, now that I'm almost fully out of SpaceX, I've taken profit several times on this short. Remember, the short was a rejection of the VWAP. We tried it once and then twice again. Well, actually, yeah, it was the same trade. And now that I'm almost all out, in fact, I might just exit fully on this push lower here. Okay, here we go. I'm all out of SpaceX on this push down. So I'm all out of the SpaceX short so that I can focus on something else potentially. Yeah, the AMD. AMD, if AMD can come down to the VWAP and give us a bounce, might be a good setup there. I'm also interested in buying CRWV on a pullback. Iron, basically everything that made a big move off the open. I needed pull down. Give me a new entry. I want to see maybe a failed breakdown, something like this, and then a continuation higher For example, on SMCI, if we break below this prior swing low and we hold above it, then will be a good entry long. Same deal on iron. If we break below this prior swing low and then we reclaim it, would be a nice trade. Similar with AMD. AMD actually did it here. I was just not looking at it. It broke below this prior swing low. It reclaimed it, and now it's about to make a new high. So that was a perfect setup. I would have traded this one if I saw it on time on AMD. But I was focused on the SpaceX short. Perfect exit on SpaceX, by the way. I exited the last of my position at 142.17, which is pretty close to the low. So happy about that. But I need some more trades. Nothing to do really here. I don't really have a setup either to the upside or the downside. Thoughts on NVIDIA? NVIDIA is displaying relative weakness here. Pretty much every other semiconductor is going up except for NVIDIA. However, let me just open NVIDIA here. I'm going to replace AMD with NVIDIA on the bottom right. NVIDIA is holding the previous day high here at $225. It also held the FlipZones right off the open, so it is giving us some support. In fact, also we broke below this prior swing low and we are moving higher from there. So you could buy a bit of NVIDIA here with a stop below this short-term low. But what's concerning is that it's not moving higher with the rest of the market. So it's relatively weaker. So if I would enter this setup, I would enter it with half size. In fact, I think I'll take a little bit here. I'll buy a little bit of NVIDIA. I bought a bit of NVIDIA. Half size with a stop below the low. So my stop is 224.95. Not super confident on NVIDIA, but I think it's worth a little bit of some allocation there for a small trade. But my focus is on the stronger stocks. I want to see a pullback on CRWV, SMCI, iron. AMD did give the pullback, but I didn't. I missed it. The only reason I took this Nvidia long is because we tried several times to break below the previous day high, like here, and then again here, and we also the open, of course, and each time we moved higher. So that's bullish. What's not bullish is that it has not been rallying like the rest of the market has. Yeah, you see, that's why I was concerned about. It's just not very strong. I'm about to get stopped out here from the long at 224.95 on Nvidia. We'll see. Still in it, but my stop is there. I'm not moving it. Oh, nice bounce. I like this bounce. I'm gonna buy a bit more Nvidia here. This bounce was interesting. There were buyers there. There were quite strong buyers there on Nvidia on that push down. I didn't get stopped, which is good, a good sign. So I doubled my position. That was a bullish sign. We'll see if that was a good decision or not in the next few minutes. My first target on Nvidia will be a break above this high, 226.12. That's where I'm gonna sell half, and then I'm gonna keep the rest, the other half, for a new high of day. So I just got filled there on the half on Nvidia on this new high, short-term high here. I'm keeping the rest for a new high of day on Nvidia. Wait, did I exit everything? Oh man, no, sorry about that. I accidentally, oh man, I accidentally closed everything on Nvidia on this new high here. That's not what I wanted to do, but that's what I did. The plan was to exit half here, but I entered the wrong order. I didn't adjust it. But the original plan was to exit half here and the other half at a new high of day. So if you still have your trade, you can follow that plan. But me, I'm all out accidentally at 226.12. So all out of that Nvidia trade. Okay, what else? SMCI is getting really tight. I'm not looking to buy this SMCI. I'm not looking to buy a breakout because it's already so high. I will be paying too much for this SMCI. I'm also not looking to short it necessarily, unless I see a big fail at the top. So if we break above here, 39.93, or even better at the high of day, and then sellers step in, this will be a good setup to short, but not until the long side fails. CRWV, it is touching VWAP now. I will need to see quite a strong side of buying for me to enter CRWV. I'm not seeing it yet, so we'll see if that comes. I'm not buying CRWV unless I see buying coming through. So SMCI is breaking above. If we fail now, somewhere around here, might be worth a short. And pay attention that Nvidia looks like we are rejecting a little bit that short-term high where I took profits. So maybe I would take some profits on Nvidia if you haven't already. I want to see a rejection of this SMCI breakout. So I could go short, maybe. Yeah, no rejection yet on SMCI. I am not shorting it yet. I want to short it, but I'm not shorting it yet. There is no rejection. Buyers are strong. This is not a failed breakout. This is just a breakout. SMCI is struggling to move higher on that breakout. Okay, bit of a rejection there on SMCI. I don't hate it, but it needs to come down below the breakout price, 407. Still above it. CRWV on the previous day high. Are we gonna see a bounce here? No bounce yet on CRWV. Iron coming down. I want iron to break below 47.36 and reclaim it for a long setup. I'm back shorting SpaceX here. I'm short SpaceX 142.52 on this failed move higher. The reason I shorted this SpaceX, one second. The reason I shorted this SpaceX is, well, first of all, we're hitting the flip zone. Second, we tried to move higher 3 times, once, twice, 3 times, and each time we got absorbed by the sellers. This is also a prior area of support, which now has turned into resistance. So we've got a few factors of interest there on SpaceX. Also, it's pretty weak on the day with the market reaping higher. So it looked to me like a decent short setup. See, there was no short setup on SMCI. I had an idea for a short setup if we broke above the high and then we rejected, but we never rejected. We just stayed above that high and we continue higher. So no short on SMCI. If you don't see sellers enter before you, don't enter. Don't expect them. You have to first see them. You have to first see that they're entering before you enter. This is going to save you a lot of trouble when you're trading. It's good to have an idea, but if you don't see your idea playing out, you don't want to be the first one to enter. You just don't want to be the first one. SMCI was actually a great long. I didn't go long. I didn't trust it there. Nvidia just hanging out, hanging on this level. It's not losing it, it's not gaining it. It's just comfortable just staying here for now. Again, if you haven't taken some profits on Nvidia, I think it's a pretty good spot to take some profits. You can always leave some to run, for a new high, but it is a place to take some profits on Nvidia, in my opinion. If the market wasn't that strong today, I would probably have shorted Nvidia on this break lower here, because that's a failed breakout now. That's a failed breakout of this level. The only reason I'm not shorting it is the market is very strong. What a move on SMCI. Damn, I completely missed that trade there. I'm gonna exit a bit of SpaceX at 141.89. 141.89. It's this level here. here. Just on a break on that of that level, I'm gonna exit 1/3, and the other third will be at a new low of day on SpaceX. Parabolic move on SMCI. This is why you don't sell it without a setup. You don't short it without a setup. Took some profits there on the new SpaceX short at 141.90. 141.89, sorry. I like this AMD set. I'm going to replace SMCI with AMD here. I like this potential AMD setup. We broke below this swing low. We're trying to come up above it, but the VWAP is in the way here. If we hold above VWAP, would be a nice potential failed breakdown. But so far the VWAP is rejecting us. So I need to see break above it. And on iron, if we see a break below this low and then a reclaim, also might be a good failed breakdown on iron. buying a little bit of AMD here. I like the buying coming through. First target 142.92. For half. Oh, wait. Here we go. That'll be the first target. Wait, what did I say? 192.93. Yes, that's my first target on AMD. I'm in from 491.50. 491.50. Actually, you know what? It's too small. The position is very small, so I'm going to move my first target to 493.94. Basically $1 a share higher. It's a small position, and I think if we manage to break out, I mean, we'll probably break out rather substantially. So I want to be positioned for that on AMD. SpaceX, I still have an order to cover half of my remaining position at 141.46. Nice move higher on AMD. Very nice move higher on AMD. There's that failed breakdown on AMD, perfectly executed here. Very nice failed breakdown, long setup on AMD, perfect. This is why I love the failed breakdown. When it works really, really good. There it is. We hit that target, first target. Now holding. Wow. Nice move on AMD. Just made a lot of money there on AMD. SpaceX just needs to make one push down. Come on, so close now. One tiny push down. Come on, SpaceX. You gotta take these setups. You have to take these setups here. I love the fail breakdown because it just shows you whether sellers are strong or not. And you only get to see that if they break below a significant level. If they break below a significant level and they're strong, they will keep going down. If not, buyers are going to step in and push it higher. It's really a decisive moment. It tells you a lot. When that happens, when a breakdown happens and sellers don't take that opportunity to push price lower, then the path of least resistance will be to the upside. And it's very obvious at that point in time. I mean, most of trading is very unclear. You never have full information, you never have complete certainty or even partial certainty. But there are some key moments that happen on the chart that kind of show you which side is stronger, which side is weaker. And the failed breakdown, the failed breakout is one of those moments where you get to see whether there is real commitment behind the buying or the selling. The important thing is to be able to wait for those moments and not take trades without a proper setup. CRWV, by the way, it's doing the same thing right now. Here, we break below this low and buyer stepped in, CRWV, similar to AMD here. So that's the same setup. It's very, very similar setup. Not exactly the same, AMD was a little bit better, but CRW very, very similar setup. I would probably take this with less size than AMD. But a similar one. My last profit target on AMD is a new high of day, 496.51. So I'm all out of AMD on this push higher. Very nice trade. The entry was this failed breakdown. We talked about it here. First exit was around here, at 493.30, somewhere around that area, 494 maybe. And the final exit was a high of day. Still on SpaceX, I took profits at 141.89 and I have another order to take some profits at a new low of day at 141.48. iron breaking below this short-term low here. Let's see if iron can also give us a failed breakdown. The only issue is that the VWAP is quite a bit lower than that. And I would have liked if this level was also on VWAP, so we can test VWAP and then break to the upside. The failed breakdown on CRWV also is working. We flagged this one when it was trading around here at 110.7. Now it's $1 higher. So if you took that one, good trade as well. I didn't personally take it because I had the same setup already on AMD. So I was good with just one setup there. But it was a valid one for sure. Same setup happening now on iron, but the reason I'm not taking iron, as I said before, is that it's too far away from VWAP. VWAP is down here, and I think there is a good likelihood that iron will come and test that VWAP before it continues higher. Nvidia breaking higher. If you're still long on Nvidia from that setup we had down here, we took profits here, and the rest of my, well, I'm all out. I accidentally got out everything at 226.13. I was planning on taking out half and then the other half at a new high of day. But if you're still in it, it's now breaking out. So that second target at the new high of day is still in play for Nvidia. Nvidia is the lagging semiconductor this morning. So iron, I think the VWAP bounce will be a better trade as it will also hit the low from earlier this morning. Yeah, perfect, exactly. That's also why I didn't take this breakout here. Great thinking there. Yeah, because if we test a VWAP, which we probably will at this point, and if we break below this low, it will be a double type of confirmation for me. And if you look just on the right, AMD did basically the exact same thing. We had this low, right at the same area as VWAP. It ran through both of them, stopped everybody out, and then reverse higher. So iron can just do the exact same thing. If I take this setup on iron, it will be with reduced size. As the day progresses, usually I reduce my size to protect gains that I've made earlier in the day, so earlier in the morning. I don't like to risk too much of my locked in profits for the day, because over the years I found that whenever I did that and then I ended up losing a substantial amount of my profit, then I would try to make it back on inferior setups. So to solve that problem, I always reduce my size. Even if the trade is really, really good, I still reduce my size quite a lot to prevent that from happening, prevent myself from taking inferior setups with big size. So we just took some profits here on the SpaceX short. We just made a new low. So took some profits out of that one. Took a while for that SpaceX short to work. Damn, took like half an hour, more than half an hour. Yeah, I mean, it sucks giving up profits that you've already made, right? And in regards to day trading stocks, you always get the best opportunities early in the day because that's where the most volume is, that's where things are moving faster, and as the day progresses, in my experience, you still get setups, but they end up failing more frequently because there is less volume. So to account for that, you can still take them if they're really good, but just I trade lower size with less size. I don't like giving away profits that I've already made, because then you put yourself into a really unfavorable situation. You end up taking way more trades than you wanted. You end up trading for much more time than you wanted. And it's just, and also your decision making suffers the more you trade. It's much different to trade for an hour, let's say an hour and a half, than to trade for 4 hours. It's difficult to make quality decisions for 4 hours at a time. No, iron, I'm not interested in shorting it. I'm only interested in buying here now as we're holding the VWAP and we're holding above this prior level of support. So let's see, should I buy a bit of iron here? Maybe I'll buy a little bit of iron. It's still not strong enough, this break above, for me to have a lot of conviction. I want to see a little bit more buying. And I am aware that the fact that I'm waiting here for more buying would probably mean that I would have to have a wider stop. But I'm personally okay with having a wider stop and a lower risk to reward ratio than enter prematurely, get stopped out prematurely. Okay, I like iron here. Just bought a little bit of iron at 47.52. I'm gonna take a little bit of profits. I mean, at 47.77. I know it's really close, but we do have this level of resistance here, which is a bit problematic. I mean, maybe I'll lock in just a third of my position there. It's really not very far, but I expect this little bit of a level here to give us a bit of a break lower. No, not a break lower, but it might provide a bit of a resistance here. My stop loss on the iron setup is below the low at 47.25. What do I want to say? I want to say something. Yeah, decision-making fatigue is a very, very real thing. And as day traders, we have to make decisions constantly, all the time. Did I get filled here? Oh. I get stopped out here on iron. Yeah, I'm stopped out on iron here, unfortunately. This is why you gotta trade with reduced size. But if it sets up again, I might take it again. If we can break above 47.64, this pivot, if we can break above there, this will be an even better failed breakdown, in my opinion. This was a little premature here. We didn't get a ton of confirmation, but I wanted to be involved in case it turned out to be a good location, but in the end didn't work out. That's okay, took the stop. And if it sets up again, if it breaks above 47.64 a second time, I'll probably take it. Although now, if we come very low here, it might give another setup lower. So we'll see what it develops. SpaceX, if you're still short, we do have some major support here. Also a flip zone at 140. So just keep that in mind. Personally, I'm not short anymore. SpaceX, I covered everything at 140.78. So I'm not short SpaceX anymore. Okay guys, I think I'm done for today. We did have some good trades. Not as easy as yesterday, for sure. I took some stops early in the morning, particularly in CRWV. I tried shorting it here as it was rejecting a little bit from previous day high. In hindsight, this was I didn't have enough patience here to see it properly reject, and in hindsight this was a mistake. You can see here there's no red bar at all, nothing closed red here, so I don't know why I took it short so fast there. Bit of a FOMO on my part, but we did have some good setups on what did I take? SpaceX. What else? I took something else that made money, but I removed it from my chart. AMD, yes. Yeah, I have it on this chart. Yeah, AMD was also great. Nvidia was pretty good. Not a huge winner, but I still made some money on Nvidia. Now breaking down, unfortunately. So as I'm so focused on the failed breakdown that sometimes you forget that the failed breakout is also a good setup. You see here how we broke above this high and we started rejecting pretty decisively here. And keeping in mind that this was also a lagging stock. lagging to the general market, this would have been a good potential failed breakout type of setup for a short. I didn't take it, but just to point out that the failed breakdown works on both sides of the market. So you can take it for shorts, you can take it for longs, depending on the context of the stock that you're trading. Nvidia displayed today relative weakness to the general market. So a short would have made sense on Nvidia. It wouldn't really have made sense on CRWV. Also didn't give you that setup. Or on iron, it wouldn't really have made sense because iron, CRWV, AMD, all of them showed relative, not relative strength, but in line with whatever the market was doing, which was going up. So I wouldn't have taken any short setups there. But on Nvidia, I think this short failed breakout here was a pretty good setup. I didn't take it, but just pointing it out for future reference. There's that major support on SpaceX doing its thing, buyer stepping in there. Okay, well, in any case, I'm flat for the day. Don't have any open trades. And this was a good session. Thank you everybody for trading with me. Make sure to join the Discord server. It's free, completely free. You'll find the link in the description. Just trying to build a bit more of a community here. And so we can all trade together and make some good trades. Yeah, thanks everybody for trading with me today. See you all on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Remember, I don't trade Fridays. If you do trade tomorrow, good luck. But if you are up on the week, I suggest that you consider reducing your size tomorrow, because it's not fun to have a red day on Fridays just before the weekend starts. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. See you all on Monday. Take care.